Gotham FC defender Mandy Freeman, live from Spain. Mandy, how's it going?
It's going really good. The vibes in Spain are great with the team. The weather's been amazing, much better than the snow and fighting the cold in New Jersey. So I think it was a great change of pace, and we get to really bond and have great weather.
Yeah, Darian and I are in and around New York, and we can say with certainty that it's cold and it's snowy and it's wet, and you dodged a weather bullet. But at Attacking Third and within CBS Sports and Golazo Network, we are celebrating Black History Month all month long and honoring Black players and their influence on sport and culture. We are picking our own players and people in sport that have influenced us and things. But we wanted to ask you, what are some people of color? Who are some people of color that have inspired you in your football career?
Yeah, I feel like every Black youth soccer player, especially a woman growing up, their favorite player was always Briana Scurry. That's always my go-to. She was really one of the only Black women that I saw in soccer growing up. So she was definitely someone that I looked up to, was inspired by. And just overall in general, Serena Williams was my go-to as well. I think, just her tenacity and her willingness to really fight for herself and what she felt like she earned and deserved on the court was something that I was really inspired by as well. And Simone Biles, with just her advocacy for mental health, was something that I really look up to as well. And just how she really stood up for herself and her mental well-being was something really admirable.
Ooh, I love that. We starting out great. Those were some great answers. Starting off real strong. We did a segment earlier on Attacking Third talking about our inspirations, and I said FloJo, and I actually brought you as a player who I think kind of emanates what she's done on the field as far as expressing herself, being authentically Black. And I want to know, you're now not just known for your playing, but your game day fits, how you show up, how you style yourself, the way that you thrift. And I want to know how that translates to the pitch for you, because you look good, you feel good, you play good. And I think especially this last year, we saw that from you.
Yeah, I think that's something that I really strongly believe in. Look good, play good, feel good. However way that works for you is something that I really try to bring to the game. I just feel like it just kind of starts my day off being really creative in that creative mind space, and playing just a different position, obviously more offensive, more creative. I feel like it really helped me kind of be confident and prepared going in to each game. And yeah, I feel like I've always kind of had a unique style. I was that girl in school that dressed a little different. And I feel like I just carried that into adulthood and really just owning who I am and being bold with, my outfit choices and trying to translate that onto the field as well.
I love it. Mandy, who gave you, shout out to Mandy's mom, Hazel. Was it Hazel that gave you the courage to kind of express yourself, to dress how you do and be that little girl that was always kind of pushing boundaries as her style choices is now translated into you as a player and an adult?
I would say both. My mom would say it's her, and I would agree to an extent, but I would also say it's my grandma on her side as well. So her mom, she was old Sunday school, best dressed to church every Sunday. So she was loved the big hats. I'm trying to get into her mink fur collection that my mom is withholding from me. I know, got some really good ones. So I think she was one of my greatest inspirations. She also would design clothes and make clothes for people that were in her community, her housing community, and make clothes for me as well and my sisters. And I spent a lot of time with her growing up. So I think just I kind of emanate her and her style and her boldness. And yeah, it's something of her that I carry with me.
It's strong lineage that goes through the grandmother to the mom to you, Mandy. It's been passed down, and you execute, you come correct, whether it's game day fit walks or across your Instagram. You have fabulous style. I love looking at it. But what's your favorite fit that you've worn, whether it's to a game or just out and about?
I would say my favorite fit, if you can find it on Instagram, me and Midge and Taylor just had a day with the girls in the city, and we decided to just dress up and go get food and coffee at a nice rooftop cafe. And I think I was wearing cowboy boots, some green kind of long shorts, and a white and green top. All of it was thrifted, all of it was vintage, which is very much my style. And it was a big flashy belt too. And so I really just mixing prints, colors, It was something that I was like, that I didn't really embrace until I got older. Because when I was younger, just being like a dark skinned Black girl, like wearing colors was like something that I didn't want to like highlight my skin tone. And so as I got older, embracing myself, really playing with different colors and different styles and things that suit me, I feel like I've really been able to find my zone and my lane.
Do you have a formula when you're putting together an outfit of like, okay, I need a little bit of this, a little bit of that? Is there a blueprint at all for when you get dressed or pick out a fit?
There's a little bit of a blueprint. I feel like I tend to like pick one piece that I want to style around. Usually it's like shoes or like a top. I feel like I have a lot of flashy tops that I love to style. And I just like grew up kind of like playing dress up in my room. And so I kind of just like have taken that into adulthood as well. Just like, and when I'm home and like I'm by myself, I just kind of like play around with trying on different styles and like playing with different clothes. And I feel like, so when it's time to like get dressed, I feel like people are always asking me like, oh, how long does it take you to get dressed? And I'm like, it really takes me like as long as it would take to put on like a pair of sweatpants. Cause in my head, I've already like kind of gone through it. And so, yeah, I think it's just really fun to do with my day.
You already have it all mapped out and executed. It's just putting it on. Okay, so we like to ask players if someone could design you or if you could design someone, but I'm going to go with this one. If you, Mandy Freeman, were designing an NWSL fashion show, which players of the league would you pick to walk in it that you could either style or they would style themselves for this NWSL fashion show? Who would you go with?
Mandy, you can also pick former teammates.
Are you trying to tell me to choose you?
I'm just throwing it out there.
Sure. I would say Sarah Gordon. I love her style as well. Katie Johnson. She's just recently retired. I feel like, not to shout out the California girlies, but I feel like they have really good style. Same with Shea Groom. I feel like she has her own unique style that I love as well. Just people that are adventurous, because like I want to put like really funky things together sometimes, and I feel like most of the personal style is just how you feel when you wear it, is what gives you the confidence and what makes it look good. So yeah, people that aren't afraid to try new things.
Darian, you're too safe, clearly. You didn't make the cut.
I mentioned her at the beginning. I mentioned her. Listen, I still remember.
Okay.
I was first.
I was first. Yeah, I remember your skirt, your white skirt or your tulle skirt with your jersey. I still remember that.
Thank you. Thank you. Mandy, I'm going to pivot over to BWPC. Where's my badge? And I want to talk about the first time, we all had a meeting about it when we were in the bubble in Utah in 2020 and thinking about, how kind of oddly that was put together. And then looking at now where there's so many activations at the NWSL final, there's events happening all year. You have people feeling empowered and so many people investing into the collective now. Can you talk about the growth you've seen with the BWPC since 2020 to now?
Yeah, I think originally when we had formulated it, it was a time where there was a lot of different voices speaking on behalf of like the Black players in the league. The main leaders of the program now really wanted to just have a place where we could say what we wanted to say without it being sugar-coated or kind of like taken over by another voice. And so from there, like the idea of doing mini pitches, I think we had, I'm saying I wasn't one of the main people like involved of like coming up with it, but I think collectively we really had an idea of what we as Black players wanted to do and what we wanted to see happen from it. So the mini pitches, I think, was an amazing thing that had come about from the BWPC. I've been fortunate to be a part of a few of the openings, one in Newark and one in Georgia. And it's just really amazing to see all of the kids and how excited they are. Some have never played soccer before, or some have like played soccer but didn't have a real field or cleats or sneakers or things that really allowed them to play and enjoy the game. So just bringing everybody together and really showcasing our love for the game and kind of projecting that onto the kids that came was really something that was truly amazing to be a part of. And I'm looking forward to, still staying involved with the mini pitches and doing more openings and not just having it be about soccer, but broadening it and having it be, we've talked about in the past, making it like a wellness center and having like yoga out on the fields or doing like art and creative things out in the field. So just making it more than soccer, really about the kids.
I love it. I think we're a collective that is giving our younger selves a hug. Like, this is something we wish we had growing up, and we're continuing to push it forward. So kudos to you. Kudos to the Black Women's Players Collective. Mandy, I want to shift over to you personally. I mean, you are one of the few players in the league, let alone Black players, that have spent their entire career at one club. Thinking back to 2017 when we got drafted, could you have ever imagined that this is where you would still be at this time in your career?
No, because to be honest, like even joining the draft was like something that I didn't really, it wasn't like a dream of mine. Like I went to school, I wanted to study psychology, I wanted to play soccer. The league wasn't as, stable as it is now. And so just being able to be in the league for this long, seeing the growth of it has been something that's been like incredible to witness and be a part of, especially seeing like the growth of a singular club and being at it from really like, where Gotham was to like what it is now and what the club wants to do in the future, I think is something really that I'm proud to be a part of. And especially being like a Black player, like I remember growing up in South Florida and, being like the ball girl at Magic Jack games with my team. And now like to think that I'm that player for someone else to look up to, I think it's really like, it makes me emotional at times because it's just like, yeah, really powerful. I never anticipated playing in the league this long, let alone, sticking around with one club.
You are an inspiration and a role model to so many. So own that and keep going with it, because it is so cool to see, because the league has grown so much. I mean, you're talking about just at Gotham going from Sky Blue to Gotham and the growth of the club. But when you think about the growth of diversity and the internationals that have joined the NWSL and how it has evolved even since 2017. So how have you seen players' expression of themselves and the culture shift in the NWSL since 2017 up until right now? As a player, how have you seen that?
Yeah, I think now, especially with the Black players in the league, I feel like we're being honored and acknowledged for being more than just like strong physically. I think you're seeing a lot of really smart, really tenacious, really like playmakers on the field. And I think that's evident in, the Golden Boot winners and, even the rookies coming out and just like how they're so technical, so well-rounded and like, when it comes to skill and having strength, but also having so much more and having that be highlighted and acknowledged, I think is really great. And yeah, just the level of internationals. I mean, being a Black player in a typically white dominated sport is something really hard. So just to see how much we're succeeding in it is really great.
You've paved the way on a lot of different aspects with your fit walks and everything you're doing, but also in the way that you play and your style on the pitch, because the league is built off the backs of players like you. Specifically, Mandy, as someone who has been so consistently underrated in this league and not talked about enough and not given the credit that she deserves in you, how have you maintained your consistency and drive in a league that has never given you the credibility that you deserve?
I feel like, well, going into it, like I've had injuries some seasons. So I feel like this keeping the same level-headedness and confidence is something that I'm still like learning how to do. But I think one thing that really helps me mentally stay in it is controlling the controllables. And it's like the most cliche term that you can like think of when it comes to, sports and athletics. I feel like every athlete is like control the controllables, but it really is true to an extent. You really have to just focus on yourself. There's going to be a lot of changes in this sport. It just comes with, the sport and the league, coaching wise, playing wise, but really staying true to who you are and what makes you special. I think it's something that is what separates, the people that stay in the league for really long and, the people that have to, think of themselves and, leave the league. And I think at this stage in my career, I feel like I'm finally coming into like who I am as a player with, how many changes I've had to overcome and face here with the club and just internally with myself with injuries. So kind of just staying true to who I am and, helping or staying in contact with people that motivate me as well. Like I have a lot of friends who played soccer. My mom and my sisters are my biggest supporters. So they're always my go-to to call whenever I'm feeling down or not feeling confident in myself.
Oh, Mandy, I feel like I can run through a wall. This is
Same.
great. This is great. Well, bringing this to now, controlling the controllables, staying true to who you are. You're in preseason right now in Spain with Gotham. How is preseason going? Do you have to buy another suitcase because you've thrifted so much? Like, tell us all about it.
Preseason's been going really well. Just, learning together as a team and really building those relationships on and off the field. I feel like being in a new country allows us to, in our matches, really challenge ourselves. We're facing new playing styles, different teams that we face in the NWSL. And yeah, I think preseason is going great. It's just baby steps and really building momentum and forming those bonding relationships and learning how each other plays. I think it's critical at this stage. And everyone knows preseason is a grind and, it's not over. So.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's just the start of the 2025 season as well. And we're excited to see you get out there. But there's always, with the start of a new season, new preseason, there's a sense of setting the tone for what this year is to come. So if you had a song, Mandy, that you were like, this is the song of the year, this is Mandy Freeman's song that we can add to our Attacking Third playlist, what would it be?
I would say Free Fall by Thames. It's kind of been like Jess Silver, my roommate, actually introduced it to me. So I feel, thank you, Darren. I feel like that would be my song for this year for sure.
Add it to the list. I love it.
Add it to the list. I told Lisa about Thames. Thames is my girl. I love her. Also, she's now part owner in San Diego MLS. So shout out to Thames. Okay, Mandy, last question about BWPC. Are there any activations that you are doing or the collective is doing that we can help elevate and just add to it and bring attention to?
I'm sorry, do you mind repeating that? There was just like noise on the room next to me.
You're good. You're good. Are there any activations that you're doing for Black History Month or the BWPC is doing that we can help elevate and bring attention to?
Yeah, I think highlighting different Black organizations. I know that's something that I'm going to be working with in the future with Gotham FC, just highlighting local Black organizations and really just being out in the community.
Mandy, thank you so much. Thanks for chatting with us. Thanks for helping us celebrate Black History Month here at Attacking Third. Good luck in preseason. Good luck this season. We can't wait to watch you and cheer for you as the season gets going.
Thank you so much for having me.